Hey everyone, welcome. So today I'm going to show you how I created this. I just wanted to show you my process from beginning to end. We just come out of our Christmas season, and now we're just into that January, February, kind of winter season. And so I wanted to create something that still felt like we were in the winter season, but needed something different. Can't be Christmassy, Christmas lights. So I came up with this. I know it looks pretty simple, but there's a few things I did in the process. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I opened up the template that I've used before, and I always just go directly to stock footage just so I can see if there's anything good. Usually it's just referencing and looking at stuff, so I'm just typing in winter trees to see what it comes up with. So most of the time I try to find wide images because our LED wall is wide, so I might click on panoramic, but I don't always. So yeah, we'll just start looking, start scrolling, seeing what I like, don't like. I can't use, the hard part about finding winter stuff is it's a lot of bright white. And with an LED wall, you can't really use bright white. It's not good for the cameras. It'll make everybody's eyes, it's just too bright. So it's a little bit tricky. You can get away with some, different looks. Not finding anything on stock, so I just go to Midjourney and start typing in what I'm looking for and see what AI can come up with. So we'll give it a second, see what it comes up with. Okay, not bad. The tone is fine, but it looks very dreary. We don't want that. So getting better. I kind of like the top left one, so I'm going to create a couple versions of that and see what it comes up with. So we got a couple different versions. They look kind of the same, but a little bit different. And I like the tone. It's wintry, but it's not bright white. It's got a dark kind of mood to it. The sun's coming up. It's like a morning sunrise, which looks nice. And there's a little bit different details in each one. And, the trees kind of peering through the trees into the background. So yeah, I'm going to go with one. I'm going to upscale it. And we'll take a look at this. So I'm actually going to zoom out. I need a lot more room to work with. So yeah, I like number 3, so we're going to upscale it. So yeah, upscaling it just basically gives me the most resolution. And that looks pretty good. I like that. I like that the 2 trees are on the side and you're kind of like looking through into it. So I'm going to copy it and just see how big it is. Yeah, so it fits the center, but it's not quite big enough. So I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to open it up in Topaz, gigapixel. Basically it upscales images, keeping, good detail. You can upscale it 1 time, 2 times, 4 times, 6 times. The image size will, you don't want it too big. 1's probably too small. 2 times is usually good enough. So yeah, you can see here now that it's a lot bigger and it gives me more room to work with, and I can scale it without it being too losing any quality. So that looks good, and that will give me enough wiggle room to fill in the sides. So yeah, so on this right side I just use Adobe Photoshop's generator, their generative fill, and I just fill in the sides. So yeah, this looks pretty nice. We got the sun coming up on the background, so we're gonna fill in the left side now. See what it comes up with. Takes a minute. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, I really like that. I like the trees too. The trees will really fill in. But I do like the dark. I like that how the contrast is on the right side is really bright and on the left side it's really dark. I do like the trees, but I think I'm gonna ultimately go with the darker. I just like that. It's darker, it's moodier. That's what it would kind of realistically look like. So yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna work with the text. What I try to do with the text here is make it look as if it's a part of the image. And so I'm trying to get the light coming from the right side where the sun is to shine on the text, and then, you know, give it that glow, and then it would obviously get darker the further away from the sunlight it is. I don't like the yellow. I'm going to try to match it and make it look a little bit more blendy. Yeah, that looks good. So it's blended in a lot better, and just going to tweak some stuff a little bit. These are really minor details that most people won't notice, but I'm working on it and I notice. So yeah. So that looks pretty good. I like to mess with the outer glow. It kind of helps, again, blend it in with the scene a little bit better, but you still want it to pop. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Almost there. Just making these minor details. Okay, looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is mess with the levels a little bit. Yeah, that looks really nice. So for our LED wall, it can't be too bright, but we don't want it to be too dark. So I just mess with the histogram, the levels basically, and really just kind of bring out the brights and, you know, bring out the darks, so it makes it really contrasty. I know I could just, you know, mess with the contrast, but I have a little bit more control with the levels, and I like that. I think that looks really good. Cool. All right, so next what I'm probably gonna do is add some noise, basically grain, to our image, and this just really kind of connects everything and blends it all together so it looks like one cohesive image between the text and the background. Now you don't want too much grain, because then it, you know, it might give the appearance of it being pixelated on screen, but you want enough so you can see. So that looks pretty good, and it just gives it more of a textured feel. But when you add that, it does darken your image, so I'm tweaking, you know, some of the levels again, because I don't want it too dark. Okay. All right, I like that. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna save this. This is the first of several. I have to make several different versions because we have different applications and we have multiple campuses and different size screens. So we'll save it to our Chattanooga campus. So this will be our main title winter background. And we'll just save it as a JPEG. I could do a PNG, but JPEG is fine. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is now make the smaller logo. And the reason I make these is because we put text copy or scripture or whatever up in the center area, but we still like to put like the logo down below. It looks good on camera. And I'm just trying to match the color again. Not too particular, but it kind of blends in. But yeah, this area right here, we just want to make sure that's open for scripture. Now I'm doing the same for our Cleveland campus. The LED wall is smaller, and I always start with Chattanooga first because, and I'll show you here in just a second. I'm just copying all the layers over. Now you can see that it's really, really big. You always want to start with your bigger image first so that you can scale down the layers. You don't want to do the reverse. You don't want to start with a smaller resolution and then scale all of your graphics and text up later, because that's when you start to lose quality. It starts to get distorted, doesn't look as good. So start with the bigger one and then scale down from there. So yeah, now I'm just rearranging, resizing, seeing what I can get away with. I want to try to see as much as the image as I can, put it in here so that we can see. It is a smaller screen, but the image is really nice and it looks really good. So yeah, this looks pretty good. I can't go too high or low because the generative fill didn't fill in that space from before. So I'm just gonna squeeze in to the max of where it left off. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna move the logo a little bit, maybe resize it. Don't want it too big, but yeah. All right, looks good. So we save that, and then we do the same thing here. We have to do a background where we can just put the text up above for a scripture or whatever else we want to put up there. Notes, sermon notes, things like that. We'll save this as our background for scriptures. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then now what we have to do is create one for our other campuses, because they don't have the long wide LED wall. They have just the standard TV 16:9, but we also need these for, like, you know, our ProPresenter, for, you know, lobby TVs, and you know, for our live stream. So I have to make a TV version, just 1920 by 1080. And then again, we're scaling down, we're not scaling up, so that the resolution is always good. So now it's really just about, you know, picking what you want to see in the image. So yeah, just bringing this down, resizing it so I can see the most out of it. Looks pretty good. I'll resize this. I feel like the text is just a little too big. You don't want it to distract from your image. We want to see the nice landscape and the pretty picture that's behind it. There is a little bit on the top. Yeah, I can see it on the top. Most people might not notice, but there's always that one person that will. So we're going to have to scale this up a little bit because it doesn't blend in. So we should, yeah, there we are. We're good now. Awesome. Looks pretty good. And we'll save that. So now they have a logo, a default logo that they can go to for before and after services. And then again, they have to have a scripture background for when they do scriptures on their own. And yeah, we'll just save that. And should be good. Done. Awesome. So we've got Cleveland, Chattanooga, and then our other campuses, and then TV slides for scrolling, and that's that. So again, this is just my process for creating a new background for our LED wall and for our TVs and ProPresenter, and it's a lot of fun. And thanks for watching. And if you want to, you can like and subscribe. And I'm gonna probably do more of these along the way, just showing you guys my process for designing, doing sermon graphics, social graphics, just any type of graphic work. I feel like it's useful, and if you found it useful, let me know. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.